Let's get serious for a moment. It's crossed all of our minds from time to time. What happens when we die? Where do we go? Is there an afterlife? Do we reincarnate? Is it all over? Do we cease to exist? Now don't worry, we won't get too metaphysical in today's video, but we will be taking a look at a book that may have all those answers, or maybe not. Today we are looking at the Handbook for the Recently Deceased from the 1988 film Beetlejuice, starring Michael Keaton as the ghost with the most, Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis as the Maitlands, Adam and Barbara, as well as Winona Ryder as Lydia Dietz and her father and stepmother Charles, and Delia, and of course, Otho. In the sleepy town of Winter River, Connecticut, there sits an abandoned hardware store where the couple that owned it and ran it have died when they accidentally ran their car off the town bridge while trying to avoid hitting a dog. Now, this is the story of Barbara and Adam Maitland, whose lives ended at the bottom of the river, and their afterlife existence continues in the home where they were trapped. Now, if you're new here, we cover the film genres of sci-fi, horror, action-adventure, pop culture, and all things geek. So if you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be aware of all my content. So when my first child was born, I was hoping for some set of instruction tags tied to the ankle or something from above that tells me what to do with this kid. But alas, there was no such thing. The thing about life is that there is no one definite instruction book. Yes, religious texts can give you various points of view, but no real how-to book. Now, the Maitlands are in luck in their after-death experience. Now, after Adam returns from Saturn and his almost encounter with the sandworm, Barbara shows Adam that they have no reflection and that there is a textbook for the dead on the table in their house. Now, the book, the Handbook for the Recently Deceased, a brownish book with a rendering of a couple probably out of the 30s or 40s. Now, of course, the book was published by the Recently Deceased press. Now, the couple realizes that their 2-week vacation was going to extend into eternity. Now that they have a lot of questions to ask, as they should. Questions like, why did Adam disappear when he stepped off the porch? Well, he was transported to Saturn, remember? Are they halfway to heaven or halfway to hell? I think Barbara is thinking of limbo. And how long is this going to last? I'm not sure if she's asking how long they will stay in the house or how long it is in eternity. Of course, the book mentions nothing about heaven and hell up front. Who knows? The thing reads like stereo instructions. Again, like life, it is up to us to find the answers to how we continue our existence and its purpose. Other films have addressed this issue in a similar manner. In an interview with a vampire, Louis is looking for answers from God or something metaphysical, but as Lestat mentions, in all the years he has been in his vampiric state, he has never heard anything from above or below. In the Robin Williams film What Dreams May Come, God doesn't come down, nor is there St. Peter waiting for him at the pearly gates. Instead, he is greeted by Cuba Gooding Jr., who kind of guides Williams' character through the afterlife like a modern-day Virgil guiding Dante. Now, what was in the Handbook for the Recently Deceased? Well, there are a few screenshots of the book's contents. Of course, the internet has quite a few offerings as to what could be in the book based on some of the things mentioned in the film by various characters, such as the warning, proceed step by step through the manual. Do not begin on Section 2 until you have fully mastered concepts contained in Section 1. And Adam says, well, we're not completely helpless. I've been reading the book. There's a word for people in our predicament, honey. Barbara looks at him and exclaims that they're ghosts. Oh, we find out that geographical and temporal perimeters, functional perimeters, vary from manifestation to manifestation, which I guess that means that every haunting is different and the area that you're allowed to play in is different as well. And as noted by Lydia, the Dietz's introverted, death-obsessed goth daughter is going through the whiny teenage phase and says in the book, rule number 2, the living usually won't see the dead. The living are arrogant. They think that they will never die, so they refuse to see the dead. At least that's what she quotes out of the book. Now there is a point in the film where the Maitlands start making some progress when they start coming to some basic conclusions. Adam then continues that, "We need some help. I found something this morning." Here, you found it, emergencies. Now, in case of an emergency, draw a door. Adam takes a piece of chalk and draws a little door on the exposed brick in the attic. And of course, the dreaded chapter, Section 17-C, Intercessions and Exorcisms. And as we find out, as Adam and Barbara are traveling between the bureaucratic help offices to where Juno, their caseworker, resides when they come to a window where they find out by the ghostly janitor it's the Lost Souls room, a room for ghosts who have been exorcised. Poor devils, that's the death for the dead. And he, of course, mentions that it's all in the handbook. Also included, but not part of the book, was an ancient, yellowed, crumbled handbill. That Adam pulls out of the book and in crude red painting. Trouble with the living? House full of pesky, arrogant, live people? If you got the dough, I'll make them go. Beetlejuice, the bio-exorcist. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Or Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And the bottom part is missing. And of course, near the end of the film, when Charles and Delia have called Maxie Dean and his wife to their house to show off their ghost, Otho schemes to bring the Maitlands out whether they like it or not. He first needs something personal from the couple. That is where Delia runs upstairs and grabs Barbara and Adam's wedding attire. Now the spell goes something like this.
Hands vermilion, stars of 5, bright cotillion, ravens guide. Night shades pain the spirits strive, to the living let now the dead come alive. As sudden thunder pierces night, as magic wonder mad affright, rives asunder man's delight, our ghost, our corpse, and we rise to be. As flies the lizard serpents fell, as goblin wizard as the spell, the buried dead and slain rise again.
Once again, but not always, I got this off an Etsy seller, n3do. They sell several versions of this prop replica, either a journal version with blank pages as the item I got here, and I'll leave a link in the description, or one where the book is just an old book with a new cover. Now this offering came with a blank hardback cover with 220 pages of 70-pound paper and a line-printed guide sheet to align with your lettering. And what you do is you place the card behind the page and then lightly draw the lines. The book itself is 5.5 inches by 8 inches by 7 1/8 inches thick. The front spine and back are all covered with new special printed cloth, so not a dust jacket as some other sellers put out. So here is some of the items that came with it. This is a Beetlejuice flyer replica where Beetlejuice says what he says. A insert sheet with the lines and words used in the movie as quoted and or read by from the book. A reproduction Polaroid photo of Barbara and Adam as the two ghosts and Delia's designer sheets, however, not a real Polaroid. And here's 2 strips of paper. Number 4, the lady that was sitting next to Beetlejuice in the hereafter. And this number, what is this? 9,998,383,750,000. If I'm reading that correctly backwards. And 4, and it also comes with 5 Beetlejuice business cards. Cute. Now, the book itself has a nice cloth cover. As I mentioned before, it is just a blank journal. And here is the, put this behind a sheet of paper. And you should be able to see the lines faintly through there and be able to kind of just draw a quick pencil line, very light, and you can draw and you can write very nice and clear. That's what the monks kind of did. You kind of drew a very light line, and that would disappear over time, and their words would remain. Now, one of the skills I've been looking into developing is book weathering and transferring the printed word into the books to alter their contents. Considering, taking some of the lines from the movie and instilling it into the book. And there are ways of doing it. Now, the thing about Beetlejuice is the best part of that movie is, besides all the wackiness that Michael Keaton brings to the story, is the story between Adam and Barbara, a couple who wanted kids, and Lydia, a child looking for adults who will pay attention to her and be part of her life. And in the film, we actually get that. Ultimately, it is a win-win, even though it is a relationship that continues after death, and even some fun possession. So let me know what you think of the Handbook for the Recently Deceased. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up, or if you didn't, slam the thumbs down, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified when all my videos come out. And of course, watch this video right here for more cosplay and film prop fun. Take care.